Well, this week the Cherokee people say, to hell with you, Confederates. We are going back to the North. And not only are we going back to the North, the whole slavery thing, illegal now in the Cherokee Nation. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, quiet week, so drink up.
Okay, all right.
We're just gonna kind of more.
I'll take it. Already
just
did.
Visit and chitty chat than much anything else. But this week,
Okay, but so nothing really happened. We didn't have any circus sideshows.
no, I mean I've got some notes, but
it's.
it's
Did we have trapeze artists?
no
maybe
trapeze,
showing up,
no
doing
no
their thing?
no trapeze artists, but it starts on the 20th, Johnny,
All
here
right,
with
what
some
happened?
skirmishing at Fort Halleck in the Dakota Territory, because remember those Indians that we attacked in retaliation for the Minnesota Indians that attacked us? Well, they're still kind of having at it.
The ones that were not involved.
Not involved at all. No, not involved.
Right, and then we just said you look the same, gonna get you. So we're still doing that. They're still shooting at each other this week. All right.
And I got some money news, Johnny. Little little change in your pocket. I got a little change in my pocket.
Am I getting paid? Am I getting paid for this now? Is that
well, maybe. Some money news. The Confederates are going to pass an act providing insurance for bonds to fund Treasury notes. So you know all those Confederate bucks that are going to be guaranteed now 6 months after the war is over. So Confederate paper.
Oh, hold on.
Don't worry. The Confederate paper money.
War's not over though.
No. The Confederate paper money that we say trust us, it's worth something. It's going to be worth something, and it's guaranteed to be worth something 6 months after the war is over with a Confederate victory.
Not
with the Confederate victory, so.
Well, I mean, because of course, if the war ends without a Confederate victory, it's just go to Massachusetts and try to spend a Confederate buck and see what happens.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here.
It's
and
backed
say
by
that
nothing.
To
It's
my,
no value. It's a piece of paper.
Yeah. To my boys in gray, you might want to see if you can't get paid in silver or gold or even copper. Because
anything.
I don't
literally,
think that paper
can you get
currency
paid
is going to be
stone
cotton.
or
get paid in
wood?
Cotton. That's the better option.
Oh, cotton would be great.
Better
right
option.
Now. You can get paid in cotton.
Yeah.
Stuff your pockets,
Doing
boys.
okay.
Like become a fucking pillow. That's the way to do it.
Johnny, on the Union side, Union shop owners are going to begin to accept paper currency in denominations of 1, 2, and 3 cents due to a coin shortage in the North. So basically, you can go into a shop.
We're making paper.
Yes.
Paper pennies.
Yes, because when you go into a shop and you want that, you want the penny candies, Johnny. I want.
Yeah, I want
that
all
licorice
the penny
strip.
candies. That's
which,
literally,
by the way,
I spend 100% of my income on penny candies.
Because, by the way, black licorice is, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're at home, black licorice is just the best. So when I want to go, but I only want one, want 1 penny's worth of black licorice. There's a coin shortage, Johnny, so we don't have the striking of the 1 pennies, as many as we need.
Is that on account of needing metal for bullets and shit?
Probably, yeah. I mean, well, copper, bronze,
or is it
probably
separate?
maybe in the
Is it
cannons
just,
a little bit.
maybe?
I don't know. There's a coin shortage. Coin shortage.
But we have a coin shortage in any case.
Breaking the fourth wall, you should be aware of what a coin shortage is, because we just had one in the United States not that long ago. And kind of still, sort of.
Yeah, maybe we should get rid of the penny. All right, get rid of the
Anyways.
penny. All right, it's been enough.
Doesn't matter.
Enough.
Doesn't matter.
With a penny.
Their shops are now accepting notes from either the federal government or state banks that are like 1 penny.
Okay.
Because there's not a.
All
there's,
right,
yeah,
sure,
there's
whatever.
Not a, so we have 1 penny paper bills now. That doesn't seem like a way. I imagine it's,
how much does it cost to print the paper bill?
I imagine it's like, there's my penny note.
It must be. What is the cost of it? They've got to be losing money, right? You
sure.
cannot. Make an item for less than a penny.
I can't imagine you can, but here we are. Anyways, that's what's going on in the money news. On the 21st, 2 federal gunboats are going to attack Confederate batteries at Hares Point in Virginia. Basically just making a lot of noise because nothing happens.
Nothing happened. Nothing. No.
And
by nothing, we mean probably a couple people died.
Yeah, probably. The news on the war front.
Who cares about them? Nobody. Because die in a major battle, you scrub.
Some civilian news here, Johnny, because we got a lot of military news. On the 22nd, ground is broken in Sacramento, California for the Central Pacific Railroad. That's right, people. What? We're breaking ground on the Central Pacific Railroad, which is one of 2 railroads, the Union Pacific.
From where to where?
Central Pacific. This is a proposed rail line connecting the East and the West. We're in the middle of a civil war, and the North has so much time, money, people, abundance of everything that we can build an intercontinental railroad, or at least start it, because we're planning for the future. What are you dirty rebels doing?
Hey,
not
quick
planning
question.
For the future, but we are, because we can, because we're the North, and we got stuff.
All right, quick question, Tommy. Lieutenant Tommy. So, most of our men, boys, children, maybe some women, are fighting in the war right now.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
they are
yes.
enlisted.
A lot of
they're
them.
enrolled,
yes.
Or they are at home working jobs, fighting towards the war effort.
Yes.
Yes. Where do you think we're going to get all of the people to work on this transcontinental railroad? It seems like it would be hard to find people.
Apparently we have enough because in California they're starting
to build it.
Yeah, they're starting it. I don't know.
With who, might I ask? As we fight this war against slavery.
I know where you're going with this, and I'm not going to say it, Johnny. I'm not going to say it.
Who is building this railroad?
There may be some help out in California from some fellow immigrants that are over. There was a little bit of foreign aid. I'm not saying it, Johnny. I'm not saying it.
That's so great. That's wonderful that we got some foreign aid on this railroad project, because our boys are obviously they're tied up in this war they're fighting.
Yeah, they are.
And so we have some folks from overseas coming in to volunteer to build this railroad for us.
Yes,
they're
from the Far East.
They're just doing it out of the goodness of their hearts.
The goodness of their heart.
That's
yep,
fantastic.
Johnny, yeah, the goodness of their heart. Yep. Johnny, on the 23rd, Lincoln is going to get another resignation from one of his not cabinet members, but from one of his, people chosen to lead things. It's going to be Simon.
People are just leaving. People are just deciding they don't want to work. That's
so
it?
we've got
we got now?
Simon, Johnny. We got Simon Cameron, who was the ex-Secretary of War, who resigned and then became the Minister to Russia. Well, he's now going to go ahead and say, I don't want to do the Minister to Russia thing anymore either, so I'm going to go ahead and resign that post as well. Sounds like
does he want to be?
The dude just doesn't want to work.
Be a lumberjack. What do you want to do? Like what?
Yeah, he might just go and be a lumberjack now. He doesn't want to be part of Lincoln's cabinet.
Get out of here.
So out he will go. I do have some bad news here.
Now,
Johnny,
that's interesting.
I do have some bad news. On the 24th.
He quit or... Wait.
He resigned, Wait. No, he just resigned.
Did he?
I'm not doing it.
He resigned. And Lincoln just let him?
Yeah.
That's new.
It's the Minister to Russia, so who cares?
Well, I mean, Lincoln apparently cares about everybody wanting
That's
to
a position
leave,
I don't think he really cares too much about, because obviously, he lets it.
Keep their job.
Yeah, he lets it. So we do have some bad news and some military news here. On the 24th, the Confederates do raise, repair, and get the Queen of the West back on the water.
Hold up,
yeah,
what?
They're then going to use the Queen of the...
They pulled it up out of...
If you remember, it didn't actually sink.
The river?
The steam stack got blown off of it. It ran aground, and they just kind of left it, and the Union left it and abandoned it. Well, they got it back on the water. Steam stack repaired. It's now doing its thing. It, along with
So they have a ship.
Well,
in their Navy
they have
now.
four
That's
total.
scary.
They have got 4 total ships in the Red River, and they're going to go ahead and
4.
Yeah, they're going to surround.
Oh my God, Tommy, what will we do?
Well, Johnny, they're
maybe take all of our ships and go and sink.
I hear the
4.
sarcasm here.
Can we do that?
I hear.
Can we just?
I hear the sarcasm, but hold on.
All of them.
Hold on. They are going to surround the USS Indianola on the 24th. They are going to ram her 7 times, forcing the Indianola to surrender. Lieutenant Commander George Brown is going to be forced to surrender because the boat's taking on water. It is actively sinking. They said, all right, fuck it. We can't. I got to surrender. So he surrenders. That's not good.
Hey, you want to make a stupid bet? I'll bet in like 150 years or so, a stupid city that had the Indianola's name builds a monument to it.
Probably. Grant is going to move his troops on the Yazoo Pass to get his forces in the rear of Vicksburg. They're well on the way, so hopefully we'll have a siege at Vicksburg sooner than later, and none of this will really matter for the Confederates. Like, yay, granted, you did some stuff on the Red River, but at the end of the day, it won't really matter. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. On the 25th, more bad news. Federal Congress is going to go ahead and pass that Conscription Act that we talked about last week. Yeah, it's passed.
Oh. So all right. So what? Real quick reminder of what that means now that it's actually a thing that we have to live with. So what?
Every basically able-bodied man that's 18 or older, up to like I think 35, has to throw their name in a hat.
18 to 35.
I think it's 35. Yeah, has to throw their name in a lottery. Their name will get randomly polled, and if polled, they have to join the army. Now, there is a provision where you can pay for somebody else to do it in your stay.
Oh, what the? Come on.
I think it's around $300.
Right,
I don't know the exact money yet. It's not been
last week. And you know what, Tommy? I'm going to be mad about it again this week because this is literally just sending poor people to go and die meaninglessly in some stupid little skirmish. Because literally, we've started this war. We've been at it for what? How long? God, what? When did this war begin?
Well, are we going with the secession or are we going with the actual like opening up shooty shooty bang bang? April 61 is shooty shooty bang bang.
There we go, 61. So I'm 2 years, couple years.
We're in 2 years. Yeah,
2 years.
Well, almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years of actual fighting.
Nearly. Fine.
Nearly
whatever.
2 years. Yeah.
In any case, and it's just poor people go die. We're not gonna do anything. We're not. It's gonna be a whole lot of we had this battle and there was a thing and then we took over this thing, and then we retreated and then just gave it back. And that's it. That's all we've been doing. What state have we gained back into the Union, Tommy? At this point in the war, which one? How many? It's got to be 3 or 4 at least by now, right? Over the time.
None of the states that actually voted to secede have been taken. Oh, it's 0. Most of Tennessee's in our control.
Are they? Oh, so they have voted in.
No, we do have a fault. We have a puppet government
branches or whatever
there. Tennessee?
Yeah, no, not good enough.
And not even all of Tennessee. West Virginia.
Do better,
Johnny. Half of Virginia? Better. We've got a new state, West Virginia. Remember?
Yeah, which also, by the way, stupid name.
Yep, sure, stupid name.
Name that bad. The Union overall just needs to do better in every facet of everything they're doing. Just every little bit of what they're doing needs to be better than what it is.
Yeah.
Get your shit together. Lincoln, can you rile your troops or something? Do something that's not dictatorial and racist?
Speaking of Lincoln,
what did he
is going
do?
to do...
Is there a new martial law order?
He's going to sign an act setting up a national banking system with national currency. So those greenbacks are going to be official U.S. currency, and a new bureau called the Bureau of Currency of Treasury. So the Currency Bureau of the Treasury. So that's a thing, more government control.
I don't understand what that means yet.
That means,
but I'm guessing I'm not going to like it.
That means that the government, instead of using gold, is going to use paper that says it's worth gold.
No, gold's a thing. Is that you can.
No, but you get paper now.
Grab it.
It's a thing. You get a greenback. Johnny, you get a fancy greenback. It's a piece of paper that's green that says it's worth $1.
It's a piece of paper? I got pieces of paper.
No, but this is made by the government.
Are those?
Nope. It's got to be made by the government, Johnny. It's got to be made by here, Lincoln.
I don't think.
Let's move on, Johnny. You're getting confused. This episode is going to get long for what it is.
That's what I'm here to do, Tommy.
Anyways, so funny note. He's also going to set up an act preventing communication with the present, and I quote here, the present pretended rebel government, basically preventing any letters, communication, coordinates between, like, so if you've got a brother down in Alabama, you're not allowed to mail him a letter anymore.
Well,
if your brother's part of the government.
We got a lot of folks.
Well, hold on. If your brother's a part of the government, it's if they're part of the Confederate government, you can't talk to them. They're cutting off all communication.
Nobody's part of the Confederate government because the Confederate government is a bullshit
but
thing that doesn't exist. And
which
it's just
is
a bunch
what
of
he
people
said.
playing make-believe
He said that. He
inside
said the
of
president,
a castle in the forest or whatever.
He called it a present pretended rebel government.
It is. I mean, how is that not already illegal to basically communicate? Because if they're a part of the Confederacy,
basically, it's just now official. It's official.
They're treasonous.
You can't talk to any treasonous person. Yeah, you can't. Fuck the Constitution. You can't talk to them.
All right. So he just made it legally punishable by death, likely.
Sure.
Because of the way
I don't know if you go that far, but yeah, sure. Anyways, moving on, Johnny. Moving on. And the USS Vanderbilt is going to seize the British merchant vessel, the Peterhoff. Notice what I said there. British merchant vessel, the Peterhoff, because they claimed that it was blockade running. The Peterhoff was on its way to a Mexican port. They claimed it was blockade running. The goods that they did get from the Peterhoff are questionable in civilian nation, including firearms. This is a little questionable for civilian purposes. There is the belief there that
people got
that equipment, guns, ammunition, food, supplies are coming up through Mexico into Texas for the Confederates. That's how they're getting around the blockade running. So the Union is taking its stance and saying no more of that, and they are seizing.
Are we going to build a wall?
Maybe. They seized a British vessel that was on its way to Mexico. By the way, it was seized by Acting Rear Admiral Charles Wilkes, who was responsible for the Trent Affair. And if you remember, Johnny, the Trent Affair was when we boarded a British vessel like last year.
Oh,
because they had Confederate emissaries on it.
Yeah.
And
folks.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a.
They had a couple of dudes on it, and we're like, we're going to take your whole ass ship. And they're like, we don't like that. We're like, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
So this will now go to a international tribunal to determine whether or not the United States is in violation of international law by seizing a British vessel that was on its way to Mexico.
All right, hold on. All right, fourth wall break. Skip ahead if you don't want this. Is this like the Star Wars shit?
What do you mean like the Star Wars shit?
Where they have like the big fucking basically congressional hearing, and all the alien species were there in their little boats or whatever the fuck they were in. They're floating things up in it was a congressional hearing in space.
Yeah, it's episode 3. Yeah. It was basically that. It's a hearing.
One of the newer
and then what
ones.
happens is, fourth wall break, spoiler alert, the international community votes that no, we did not have the right to capture a British vessel that was on its way to a neutral port. Apparently you can't do that in war, regardless of what you think the end product was going to. You can't just fucking do that.
But who cares?
Anyways, back to present day.
We are in 1863.
Yep, 63. This week is going to end, Johnny, with the Cherokee people. The Indian Nation, the Cherokee Indian National Council, is going to repeal its treaties with the Confederacy. They're going to repeal their Ordinance of Secession. They're going to say, hey, you know how we said we're going to secede and we're going to join the Confederacy? We're going to go ahead and say that we don't want to do that anymore, and we're going to go rejoin the Union. They pronounce we're pro-Union.
Now, hang up. Hold up. Where is the Cherokee Nation?
They're around Georgia-ish. Georgia-ish.
They're in the South.
In the South.
And so, but they own a portion of the land. They have their own nation inside.
Where they were put from the Trail of Tears thing, yes.
And they left them in Georgia? They let them stay that close? That's nice. Anyway, and so at this point, they are... When the war started, they're like, well, we have to be with a Confederate because that's where we are, right? Like that's the thing.
There's a small population that owned slaves, and that small population convinced the larger population to join the Confederacy, which they did.
Did they join it? Did they convince them in the same way that America convinces all of their people to do things by having a couple of very rich, very powerful people? Just tell everybody what's going to happen, and then they do it because and nobody can have a say.
Now the rest of that population said, "Hey, there's more of us that aren't slave owning, and we don't really like the whole idea of slavery, so we're not going to do that anymore." And they oust the slave owners. They oust them. Said, if you want to join the Confederacy, that's fine. But the rest of us, we're going to rejoin the Union. And not only do they rejoin the Union, they are the first. Johnny, hold on, you got to let me finish.
Oh my God!
They are the first nation within the United States that make it 100% illegal for you to own slaves. Like not the Emancipation Proclamation where they're like, all right, this region you can, this region you can't because they're in rebellion. No, flat out, if you're in Cherokee territory, no more slaves.
Oh, that first
and not only is it no more slaves, they're going to pursue anybody who's in violation of that law and deal with them however they choose, which I'm sure is not. I'm sure that means not. They're going to enforce that there's no slavery. So they're at the very least they're going to take the slaves from you and release them. But I imagine there's probably a little bit more to that. Maybe a little more to that with the haircut or something along those lines as well, which happens on the 26th. Also on the 26th, Johnny. Let's finish this episode out. It's a very hilarious note that we're going to end the week on. The Union is going to float a large vessel past Vicksburg. The Confederates are going to see this large vessel. They believe it is some massive ironclad battleship, so to speak, as big as you can get on
Did we Trojan horse
a river. They fear this vessel so much so that they are going to take the captured Indianola and they're going to blow it up, so that it doesn't fall back into Union hands.
Hold up.
They are going to get...
They have a state-of-the-art, maximum capacity, great, fucking just good ship. The Indianola.
And the Queen of the West.
Good ship, right? It's a good ship.
Yeah, the Indianola and the Queen of the West were good ships, yeah. The Queen of the West is going to flee. The Queen of the West is going to flat out flee. It's going to flat out, it's going to go back down the Red River. The Indianola, which is wounded still from the previous battle, they're going to blow it up. They will, however...
They just say, we don't want them to get it back.
Yes, they're going to blow it.
Because they see some big old ship float past.
Yeah, they're going to blow it up.
Probably they do, however... by a dude.
The Indianola, the only thing they take off the Indianola before they blow it up is wine and liquor. Because, of course, if you're in the Navy, you got your rum rations, you got your wine rations. What else are you going to do? So they take all the alcohol off the Indianola and then blow it up.
Yep.
Turns out that massive gunboat that the Union sent past Vicksburg was a old coal barge that was 100% empty that they decked out like a gunboat. To just as a joke, they're like, let's see what they do with this.
They Trojan horsed them.
They Trojan horsed them.
Yeah,
they sure did.
God. That's fantastic.
That's how the week goes.
That's how you battle. That's how you war.
That is how you battle.
Competing against that Confederacy.
That is how you wore. Well, we'll see what happens next week. This was a boring week, but it was a very much drunken rant. So I hope you bared with us this week. If you enjoy this, check out Historic Hindsight, where we talk about all kinds of fun things, like Andrew Jackson being probably the worst American human being ever, because, ethnic cleansing was a thing he really enjoyed. Or check out Tommy get mad about lost causers, bitching about how, we didn't segregate black people from fighting in the Confederacy. You fucking did!